If you are a member of Crusader States, the following video is depressing as fuck. This is mostly a true story, although the timeline's pretty janky. I'm going to remove the sphere of influence thing because it's irrelevant at this point. It'll become clear why in a bit. So, in regards to Crusader States up north, we really don't know what happened to them, but Oakheim a few weeks back just sort of vanished. Seriously, we have no idea if they moved or quit the game, or we don't know, but they're gone. I wish I had more for you, but It's about time I filled in some of the gaps down south too. Crusader States is made up of a lot more than just the Kingdom of Lemuria. So the big hitters in the south who have been consistently able to field men in our wars include, but are not limited to, Sol's Abbey, Black Angels, Legion of Krauts, Burg Hohenfels, Casa de Castilla, and FSR. We'll go with that. One place that at this point is not a guild, but is an important landmark, is just Feudal. It'll become clear why that's important soon. So beginning pretty much where we left off last time, things were going quite well in the war against Ashenfell at this point. Having had to deal with a few medium-sized raids in our territory over the past week, CS decided it was time to strike back. We still had a heavy numerical supremacy at this point, so making a large-scale raid into Ashenfell territory was still viable. The goal was to get inside Ashenfell Caliphate, their main base, with the intention of destroying and killing as much as we could. The raid itself was the most minor of minor successes. We killed a few of their guys but couldn't destroy anything because everything was on their town claim. But we'd put our foot inside the heart of Ashenfell, so felt good, man. Since we were already in the area though, we turned our attention to Ironclad, the castle next door. It was then Ashenfell decided they'd had enough and sallied out.
Drawing laptop.
Feel at the cart, at the trader cart. Yeah, if you're still inside,
You can shoot them, click them.
Yeah, I need to
get off your nose.
Armor.
Yeah,
No.
dude.
I'm back. Left side.
Take his horn. I need some help.
Come out there.
Harding, you want it?
Oh, just waste that last go.
What?
Fall back up the hill quickly, man. Go.
We stopped fighting near the end of Judgment Hour. We couldn't destroy anything and we weren't gaining anything, so we got the hell out of there. The retreat was an absolute clusterfuck. Turns out Ashenfell are quite good at lancing, so our mounted infantry became scattered. I don't think we really lost anyone though. Everyone just made their own way home as far as I know. So despite the ignominious way it ended, we'd successfully flicked Ashenfell in the face. Yeah. Felt like a victory at the time, for some reason. Although they probably said the same. However, it was around this time that two major events happened. First, Ashenfell shifted their strategy and started usurping claims in CS territory as the life of the monuments ran out, including the Hidden Hill Tribe claim and the Oakheim claim. The major one, however, would be just Feudal. A declining player base inside just Feudal resulted in the owner of the claim giving it to Ashenfell. I've heard differing accounts of what actually happened there. Some say he sold it for real world money. Some say he just gave it away for free, and some say he gave it away for in-game items. I don't know, and either way, it's not that important. There was now a huge enemy staging area right in the heart of our territory. The second major event was Whiskey. Whiskey was the King of Lemuria until around a month and a bit ago. For real-life reasons that are none of my business, he abdicated, and with him went the unity of the southern states in CS. You see, he wasn't just the King of Lemuria, but he was also the King of CS, and a new King of CS was not elected. So we had no field marshal, so to speak. We had no unified command. Communication broke down, and the activity of Lemuria itself sharply declined. So in one fell swoop, our cohesion and our numbers took a significant hit. We didn't know it at the time, but it was the beginning of the end. We weren't beaten yet, though. We fought on, and I can only speak for the Northern Allies, but we fought well. It was also around this time, however, that numbers were declining in Jerusalem, as well as the Black Templars. An agreement was struck, and we merged, to extremely good effect. In turn, we became the Knights Templars. We helped them finish their keep. We also ended up merging with Burg Hohenfels, one of the guilds from the south. So we had some good progress in the north, but the situation in the south was pretty dire. Not that I'm ripping on the south or anything, they just got attacked a hell of a lot more. The lack of manpower combined with poor communication meant during Judgment Hour, Ashenfell could run us ragged in the south by deploying sporadic forces all over the place in various sizes, which meant there was no way of pinning down exactly where they were and killing them. On one occasion, we built our way inside just Feudal. Well, you gotta go over that battlement, right?
Full speed run and jump.
Parkour! No, fuck. And started killing everyone inside.
I got him blocked.
Oh, oh, oh. We killed maybe 3 or 4, not counting spawn kills, while the rest of their forces were raiding other areas and fighting instance battles and all kinds of other shit. In response to this strategy though, CS started moving around during Judgment Hour as roving bands of between 10 and 20 men that would start Judgment Hour scattered all over the south, so that we could deal with threats as and when they appeared. For a week or so, it worked. Really well. Wherever Ashenfell popped up, so did we, and for the most part, we squashed any and all resistance. It was in one such raid on the Lemurian castle I scratched up my second kill. Oh, got a head this time. And it's Sapper again, keeping you forever. This strategy worked pretty well. Up until it didn't. I think Ashenfell just got better at deploying the right amount of guys in the right place, and it might just be me, but I'm pretty sure their numbers were going up. Ashenfell were slowly but surely gaining the upper hand during Judgment Hour. All our best efforts to mitigate the amount of damage they were doing were either too little too late, or not enough to begin with. They even stepped up their raids outside of Judgment Hour, and the Knights Templar were employed for a short time as something of a police force for the south. Would make regular responses to raids at random times, and in one such response, I chalked up number 3. And now for teabagging. That wasn't Sapper though, so it doesn't count. Despite successes here and there, on the whole, CS was getting beaten up quite badly. They never made significant raids into the north though. We'd get the occasional Lancer come through trying to pick off farmers and miners, that sort of thing. There was one occasion actually, at Legion of Krauts, they built in and blew up a large stable with a siege charge. Never did that kind of thing to us. Maybe they thought we weren't worth their time, maybe they thought there were easier targets in the south. I think it was probably just the proximity of just Feudal, which is essentially their main raiding base. Even during Judgment Hours where we'd gained the upper hand, it always seemed to end around there. That was the epicenter of the conflict. Up to this point, it had been a slow but steady decline for CS. Then, one day, to us it came out of nowhere, but a large group of other guilds joined forces with Ashenfell and formed the Red Sea Heathens Coalition. This is when shit really hit the fan. They didn't need to be careful after this because TFA, the enemy of our enemy, for those who don't know, they're a massive alliance. They had their own wars to fight, so it was basically CS on their own versus RSH, who at this point massively outnumbered us. I saw this firsthand for the first time during a Judgment Hour where they stormed their way into Black Angel's army, which is just next door to just Feudal. Even after the Templars showed up, we didn't have the manpower needed to push in and then drive them away. We had to wait for help. When we finally got in, they bolted. We then rode over to just Feudal to try and catch some of them, and when we got there, no sign of them in great numbers, so we advanced on the castle with the intention of looting up all the corpses nearby. I ordered the infantry up the ramp so we'd have protection against the lancers, and I saw a few Ashenfell trapped outside the castle in the ditch, so I jumped in to kill them. In the process, I forgot that I was wounded, and that I'm really bad at fighting. So when I looked back for help, I saw my guys getting engaged in the back. So it was at this point I knew we'd lost the fight. Then I got hit. Poison. It was at this point I knew I was dead. I had antidote, but I did not have the time to take it. It was kind of ironic that the first day I died was the first day of the shit hitting the fan. I thought their numbers that day might have been an anomaly, but a few days later they made a huge raid on Micklegard. I wasn't there for that, but if you want to see that, then click here. It's also worth mentioning, during that raid we didn't receive any help from the rest of CS since they were expecting an attack in the south. So in regards to what we were against, we were spread kinda thin. I saw the numbers again firsthand though when we made a counter raid to help Gamerike, an ally on the other side of the Gulf. We were greeted by a blue and black horde. There was nothing to be gained that day by dying in that compound, so we got the hell out of there. Later in the same day, there was a raid against Legion of Krauts. Whether or not this was the catalyst or simply the straw that broke the camel's back, I don't know. But after that raid, Legion of Krauts capitulated. They formally switched sides and joined RSH. On the same day, Black Angels and FSR opened up peace talks independently of CS. with various clans looking for peace, some of them jumping ship and others just fading into obscurity. It was in the wake of all this turmoil, and not expecting to receive any help anytime soon from the other members of CS, the Knights Templars, along with Micklegard, left the Crusader states to pursue bonds elsewhere. It was not, shall we say, a unilaterally popular decision. We have in fact been accused of collusion by more than one person. I can only tell you what I know, and what I know is it's bollocks. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt though. This is the fall of Rome. Misinformation is rife. A lot more of our guys died in the south than in the north. Yes, we left Crusader states having not prevented its fall, but it was not from lack of trying. So there it is. I wish I had some great big battle showstopper to show you, but that wouldn't be right. Because the truth is, CS did not end with a bang, but with a whimper. And that's the story of CS. We fought, we lost. It now just barely limps on as a loose confederation of southern states, without the Templars, but the Templars survived. And it might not be the most epic chapter in our history, but it's certainly an important one. As now we enter a new phase, where we stand as an independent guild, in an ocean of gigantic coalitions, still at war with Ashenfell. And the story of the Templars' independence is already unravelling. But that's another story, for another time.